All right, guys, welcome back to another video. Today we have oxtail and rice and peas on the menu. So in this pan, I have already washed with vinegar some oxtail. I've added some oxtail seasoning, some ground pimento, a little bit of black pepper melody. We have some paprika right here that helps with the color, and some all-purpose seasoning of your choice. Browning is optional if you like. With very clean hands, I went ahead and I got it all mixed together. I mean, you can wear gloves if that's what you would like to do, but for me, it's not a big deal. With clean hands, I just went ahead and I massaged all the seasoning into the meat, got it all covered, and once I was through massaging the meat and getting the seasoning all mixed up, I went ahead and I placed the oxtail in the refrigerator for about 2 hours to let it marinate. That intensifies the flavor. It does help with the final outcome of everything. So if you're able to marinate it from the night before, that's great. For me, I did it the day of. So that's how it looked finally. Okay, guys, after 2 hours of my oxtail sitting in the refrigerator, I have right here a very hot pan with some oil of your choice. I added about 3 tablespoons of dark brown sugar. This is how I got my meat all brown. That's what I was telling you earlier. You could use the browning for color, or you could use this method. Personally, this is my favorite method. When you do use this method, though, putting the sugar in the oil, you do have to pay very close attention. You have to be standing there to see it. So I went ahead and I added my oxtail to the pan. It is cold, so it did somewhat slow the sugar, from caramelizing any further. It did slow that down somewhat. So I'm going ahead and mixing it all together, stirring it, getting it all coated with the caramel. That's how it was looking at that point. So we're going to let this, we're going to stir it maybe every 2 minutes. Just let it stay on medium-high heat and start maybe every 1.5 to 2 minutes to get it all coated. I will be using an electric pressure cooker. So that's actually the insert for the pressure cooker that I'm using already. So it'll be an easy transition. I am also, that's after 1.5 minutes. I am stirring it again, making sure it's all coated. We're looking for the nice brown color, and it's starting to get there. So we're just ever so often just stirring and making sure everything is nicely coated. In the pan next, on the other burner, I have some pigeon peas, or gungo peas as it's called in Jamaica. So I had that all cooked. It was tender. It was ready to go. I had a little bit of salt to the water for flavor. Not a lot, just a little bit. That's frozen coconut milk that I actually just added to my peas. So the peas is in that pan. Just enough water to go just above it. I'm adding some green onion or scallion and some thyme, and I'm adding also some ground pimento. That adds some flavor as well. So we're going to stir that. We're going to let the seasoning all, combine, cook together. That's the Scotch bonnet pepper. We're going to get all washed and in our pot. And that's what we did right there. So I'm going to leave it for a few minutes, let it come to a boil. Again, I keep stirring my oxtail because you want to keep a close eye on it. You don't want it to burn or anything. I did have some water boiling in the kettle, and because I don't want to stop the cooking process with cold water, I'm adding boiling hot water to my oxtail. So once it's all brown and coated, I go ahead and I add boiling hot water. I also added some water to my boiling peas and milk on the burner next door. So I added just enough water to the oxtail, just enough to cover the oxtail just a little bit. We're going to take this pot and put it directly into the pressure cooker. It's going to pressure, I'm going to leave it in there for about 30 minutes. In my hand right here, I have some grated ginger. This is just another one of my little secrets that I add to my rice and peas, is a little bit of ginger, freshly grated ginger juice. So that's what I just added there. And what I'm about to do next is get my oxtail into the pressure cooker. So over there, my peas, it's still cooking, looking good. You want it to come to a boil, and then we're going to be adding the rice. So over here, I have the rice all washed off camera, and we're just going to add it. That's about 2 pounds of rice that I added right there. You want, again, this is just like cooking just rice by itself. You want just enough water, maybe a knuckle length of water above your rice. You don't want too much water because then it just gets too mushy. And in order to get perfect rice, you just want maybe a knuckle above the rice worth of water. So back over here, we're prepping all our seasoning or additional seasoning that will be going into the oxtail. In this pan, I have cut up some red and green pepper, tomatoes. I'm adding some onions. I already grated some ginger juice in there, some green onions, some thyme, and a plum tomato also was added in here. We're going to get this, once our oxtail is all pressured, we're going to get it added. So as a side, I'm also making some fried plantains. So I cut the plantain in half, and then we're slicing each half into little slices. So that's what I'm doing right here. And then we're going to get these all fried up. So again, this is how I slice it. You don't want it too thick and you don't want it too thin. Just, a nice bite so it doesn't take very long to fry. So that's my rice. Once I've added the rice, instead of just putting the pot cover on my rice, I actually like to put a little bit of foil paper. Because rice steams, you want the steam, it locks in the steam better, I find, with the foil paper. So that's why I've added it tightly to my pot over there. And now my rice is cooking on low heat, very low. I'm adding my plantains to the oil right here, and we're getting it all fried up. So that's what we're doing. These plantains are somewhat ripened, so, because of the sugar, it will burn. So again, you can't be putting these in the pan and walking off or going anywhere. You really have to stay close by and see what's going on. So I've gone ahead and added all the plantains to the pan, and it's on about a low to medium heat right here. And we're just going to let these get some nice color and caramelize a little bit, and then we'll get it flipped over and we'll keep going from there. So let's check on our rice. Our rice has been cooking maybe for about 20 minutes now, and it's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Guys, if you can smell all the flavors that's going on in this kitchen right now, you just So our rice is perfect. Everything is looking good. I'm going to give it maybe about another 5 minutes or so. We're going to get it covered back up, and we're going to leave it on the lowest heat possible, just to let it finish off. We're going to go ahead and get our plantains flipped over here. And you know that it's ready to be flipped over. You'll see along the edges of each slice, it's starting to get a little brown. You'll see it starting to caramelize, and that's how you know it's time to get it flipped over. So that's what I'm doing here. Okay, so back to our oxtail. It's all pressured. It's been in the pressure cooker for, like I said, about 30 minutes. It's nice and tender. We have it back on the stove. We're going to put the final seasoning in here. And the color is just beautiful. Nice and brown, just the way we like it. So all the seasoning that I had prepped earlier, we're going to go ahead and get it all in the pot. All of it. And we're going to get it mixed up. And then we're going to go ahead and add our butter bean to, there we go. Our butter bean, I added about 2 cans. This is about 4 pounds of oxtail right there. Maybe about 3.5 pounds of oxtail right there. So we added our butter bean and look at it cooking over there. Again, I'm finishing up with the plantains on this side. The rice is already ready to go. It's on the back burner. And yeah. So our oxtail is looking beautiful at this point. It smells great. I'll add one final thing, which is about 3 tablespoons of tomato ketchup. This is optional, but it does help to thicken the gravy just a little bit. So we're gonna get that all mixed in. It stays on the burner, maybe a medium-high heat for about another 5-10 minutes, and then it should all be ready. And here is our final product. Our oxtail with our rice and peas and fried plantain. I hope you guys try this recipe. If you do, please let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.